Reflections won't export from Max into your game engine. You'll usually do the reflections within the game engine itself because it's going to need to be rendered on the fly when you play the game. But they can make your models look a little bit better for showing off that you built in Max. Don't get too carried away with reflections. You will take a big hit in render time with them. And too many reflections isn't going to look right. They tend to be a little overused. Okay, so back to our material editor. I'm going to select the plane material, which is this dark blue shader. And all I'm going to do is go under Maps, go where it says Reflection, click where it says None, and I'm going to add a ray trace shader type to it. Click OK. And I don't really need to do anything else at this point. Everything is pretty much done. And if I render this, you'll see that I get a reflection of my little sphere down here. I also don't have a light in this scene. I'm going to make a real quick light here. Where'd my light go? There we go. Okay, a little bit better. Alright, okay, back where we were. Alright, so if I render this, it'll look a little bit better now. I've got a light in the scene. That light's what's going to help calculate those reflections. So now I have that surface here has been tagged to show reflections. Every surface you want to reflect, you have to tag with that same type of shader type. So if I want to select my sphere here and do the same thing, ray trace. Now the sphere itself will be reflective and will reflect what's around it. You can see now we're getting a different reflection here because it's got to reflect the reflection. Now if you want to do that within a multi-sub object, I think this is 2 is the one that it's mostly made up of. You've got to go down to the correct multi-sub layer. In this case it's 2. And go under Reflection, Ray Trace, and now that will be reflective as well. And you'll see with each time that I've added a reflection to something, my render time is becoming slower and slower and slower. So now it's like everything in here is covered with mirrors. Now that's not usually what we want. That chrome look is a bit heavy. So I'm going to go one layer up and I'm going to knock the reflection way down to about 20 on my tank piece. I'm going to go to my sphere and knock down the reflection to about 20 as well. And on my plane, I'm going to knock the reflection down to about 12. And now when I render it, I'll get a much more subtle effect. You can see it's still reflecting, but it's just much more subtle. And you can see here on the tank parts, it's going to look a lot better when it's subtle like that. So that's how you add reflection to a scene. Just don't overdo it. It tends to look better once you get bump maps or normal maps in. It will work with those really nice. Keep it subtle. And once you get your tank in an environment, remember it's going to be reflecting that entire environment. In these cases where we don't have anything in the background, it's actually reflecting black, and so we're not seeing anything here. Okay?